welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I'm playing The Epic Gamble by TonyScapone, and I have TonyScapone on the call with me. Tony, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? Happy to be here.
Yeah, you've been crushing with the Epic Gamble, which is one of the decks that you really launched your content career, and I think the first I really became familiar with your work was a few years ago when you were working on the Epic Gamble. And
yeah,
this is just the deck that I associate with you first and foremost, and then you've done a lot of cool things since then in the combo space, but we're back to the original. How does that feel?
Oh, great. It's always good to be back to the first love and everything's just working out fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just going back to your ex always works out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Epic Gamble, it's a mono red in air quotes because it's built around a blue card, but mostly mono red combo storm deck. And the new card I see in here is Vexing Bauble, which you're playing 4 copies of in a deck with 13 0-mana spells. So how about you tell me how that works and talk about why this is well positioned right now and your recent success with it.
Yeah, I mean, for proof of legitimacy, at least as of late, I'm 18-1 my last bunch of matches with it. A 4-0 FNM, a 5-0 on stream, and then 6-0 in Swiss of a challenge, winning top 8 and then losing top 4. And then I'm 2-0 in a league right now. It's definitely been great. Vexing Bauble is a huge reason for that. So Vexing Bauble is there primarily to get your grid in, basically. So in openers, you can play your zeros first. You can play Vexing Bauble. It's going to eat a Force of Will, or it's going to allow you to put grid in. There's enough mana that works around Vexing Bauble. Are there times that it is awkward? Sure, but it works out maybe a lot smoother than someone might think just by looking at this. But Vexing Bauble, definitely the reason why this deck has gotten a more life breathed into it all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. I remember on the Eternal Glory podcast when we were doing MH3 preview episode, we talked about Vexing Bauble, and I talked about how specifically you could play it until it's inconvenient for you, and then you could draw a card and do whatever you wanted to do anyway. And we also described it as a 1-mana defense grid. So it's really interesting that you're using Vexing Bauble kind of as defense grid, but also as Thoughtseize to clear the way for defense grid, actual defense grid. This kind of has 7 defense grids in it, and one of them just cantrips off. And the thing you said about, you get to decide when you cast your spells, so just dump out your zeros, play the bauble, and now it's not a problem until you draw more zeros. Just a very cool thing. I'm excited to see that play out.
Yeah, for sure. It allows us to be a lot more forward and aggressive, as if the previous iterations weren't aggressive enough. But previously, we played a lot of Galvanic Relay. I kind of filled the protection slot. It was action, but of course, there are times where you'd wheel, you'd only be able to relay. And more these days, it's important to not pass the turn. Certainly with this deck, the whole theme is to kill them now, not later, now. And cards like Jeska's Will become incredibly good when you both draw 7 and your opponent can't cast spells because of either a Vexing Bauble or a defense grid. Without Relay, we can play a full set of Spirit Guides. It's definitely different in a lot of ways, but it does the same thing that it used to. Kills
Reforge
very
the Soul,
quickly.
4 copies across the 75. Is that new? I feel like that was maybe a tutor bullet if played at all in the past, and now it's just the plan.
I've always played it in the sideboard. But yeah, I mean, I've taken a bit of inspiration from one of my co-hosts on my podcast, Brews of Paradise, if you don't mind me plugging that in there.
Plug away.
But Killabee, I'm sure y'all know, he played a kind of a similar, I mean, him and I both play a lot of red Gamble Storm decks, right? So naturally there's going to be a lot of crossover. Same podcast, we talk a lot. but he was playing Wheel of Misfortune as well. And this was just before Vexing Bauble came out. I even have a video of his deck on my YouTube. But it's and I credit him for really making me rethink some of the basics of the deck. And once Vexing Bauble came out, I was like, all right, this is definitely what we're doing.
Yeah, this was the scariest thing. I played a set of matches versus Thraben U in the MH3 early access period. Shout out to the MTGO creator program. And I didn't care about this card at all when it was just like in a stompy deck or whatever. But when it popped out of Urza Saga on the combo turn for an unfair deck, it was horrific. It just completely warped how I understood Magic to work. It was just like one of those things where like the first time your Brainstorm gets Bowmastered, or the first time you ever get a spell Dazed, the first time Vexing Bauble came out of Urza Saga, I was like, oh, this is a shift of paradigm.
Yep, and we do have Saga, which I've never been, just barely been unwilling to play. Tested it a lot in this deck previously, but City of Traders was just, we wanted the power level for more mana, but Vexing Bauble is just far too strong a reason to not be playing Urza Saga.
Okay, sweet. Do you have anything else we need to know before we play this deck? It looks like we're gonna put one of our 7 defense grids into play and then spin and spin until someone's dead. Is there more to know than that?
Well, that's about it. I mean, the sideboard is pretty much a giant Burning Wish board, a couple of Saga targets, a couple of bounce spells. That's it.
All right, sick. Let's get into this league.
Let's do it.
We are on the play for round 1. I think I would like to take the play. I didn't check with Tony, but I'm just going to say I'd like to go first with my Storm deck. So, Tony, my initial assessment. Oh, first of all, opponent says hi, YouTube. Everyone say hi to Iron Bars. My initial assessment is that this hand has the Bauble, has a bunch of mana, but doesn't do anything. This feels like a mulligan to me.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
All right, this one has the mana and the protection and stuff to do. This feels like a keep to me.
Yeah, I'd keep. It's slow, but it's, steady.
Okay, interesting that you rate this as slow, because I was like, hell yeah, this is what we're doing. So I'm thinking we play Saga off of, or play Saga, use it to cast Bauble, and then next turn we can gamble for Echo, or this Burning Wish could be an Echo also. So we have 2 routes to Echo. If they wasteland us, we don't have LED. I guess fail case is we just cast Jeska's Will on turn 3. How are you sequencing this, and what are you putting to the bottom?
It's not entirely clear. I'd probably just bottom the Shatter Skull Smashing. You have 2 basic routes here, whether you want to play like not Saga first to try to get 2 tokens, and then maybe you keep the Smashing. But I wouldn't, and I'd play Saga first and just get to the fastest route to LED.
Okay.
There's not too much to be said outside of that until we see what our opponent's doing, what we draw, etc. Because the hand is largely incomplete.
All right. So let's send up the signal. And to those watching at home, if your opponent goes turn 1 Urza Saga into Vexing Bauble, they're a combo deck.
Yeah, other decks that may do that would be some mono blue combo decks as well. Jewel, PO.
Yep. All right. So we've immediately stepped on our own balls with this Mox Opal. We are against the Pluto Delta strategy where the Vexing Bauble is good. Are you like thinking about wishing for Echo to have 2 routes to Echo here, or do we save the Burning Wish?
Yeah, I would just go get Echo.
All right, sweet.
You could gamble for it too. I don't think it matters too much. You might as well just not go down a card.
Yeah, the Wish exiles itself, where Echo would stay, or while Gamble would stay somewhere in the deck, so there's 1 less win con in the deck right now, but we can't like lose a Gamble here. I guess like, I mean, that's what, if we gamble, discard Jeska's Will, and then they wasteland us, but that we can't cast Jeska's Will anyway.
Yeah.
No wasteland.
Sweet. And no Bowmasters. Not that there's much of it in the format, but
yeah, that's probably a huge point of relief, of tension, that makes this deck with 8 draw 7s possible. Just Bowmaster all-time low right now.
For sure.
Okay, so we're going to float one and get LED.
Mountain was actually a very good draw because now we can Jeska as well.
Okay, and we do that before we Echo. That puts stuff in the bank 6 mana as well.
Yep.
That's cool.
You can probably gamble for like probably Bergie afterwards.
I just had to check myself real quick. I've been playing a lot of Rograk Silas CEDH lately, where Jeska's Will is always both modes, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be worth any cards. Like after it was already on the stack. Okay, so you said gamble for Bergie is something you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to count a little bit, right? So 9 mana with a Burning Wish and, an LED in the mix is a peer, but we'd be one shy of that. So, like, you could gamble for Burning Wish here at a chance to technically win on the spot if we had one more mana, but we don't. So I would just get the next most powerful thing to couple with Echo, and that would be Bergie.
Okay, and worst case scenario is we lose our 1 out of 3
It's 1 mana.
roll here, and we just Echo anyway.
Yep, it's totally worth the gamble.
Bergie, Mox Opal to the graveyard, and we want Bergie or Horn.
Right. You could play Horn. It is more powerful. Horn plus Wheel is, definitely above like 95% to kill them, but they could have a Pierce. And Bergie is also very high percentage here.
I am
and as you can
an all-time Bergie stan, which people might not know because I'm generally playing control decks, but I love having Bergie God of Storytelling in play. This is my kink.
Yeah, she's broken.
Do we leave blue-red floating or red-red floating? I guess we're about to replace the red. Is leaving a blue in the pool even useful?
We're always going to have red.
Okay.
So use up all your red. And yes, we got Mind's Desire.
Oh, and Hardcast Echo as well.
And yep.
Okay.
One of the reasons we play Mind's Desire is because you don't have to make like awkward black mana decisions. You can just load up on blue.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Let me try to walk through this. Apologies to Iron Bars, who was very nice in the chat as you and I navigate this co-streamed. I see Defense Grid. We can convert Bauble into Defense Grid, then draw a card with Bauble, then start dumping out these zeros and complete the conversion that you talked about. Is that how you're thinking about this?
Yes. I would cast Rite of Flame first, though, so that we don't have to start using our blue mana.
Sure. Okay, then we've got a Defense Grid for the double up. Then we get to draw a card. And I can immediately see how these things that look awkward on the surface are completely navigable.
Yep. I think it's worth playing Looting. It's quite often worth playing it with a Bergie in play, especially when you have a truly dead card, this Urza Saga.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's not really anything. I guess pitching Spirit Guide to Chromox is the same as Spirit Guiding, but better. But we don't need both of those cards, and the Saga is definitely a brick.
Like, worst case, it draws something that Chromox will imprint. We're in the same spot.
Right.
Best case, here we go.
Yeah.
A lot of mana.
Okay. Well, I guess Chromox makes a red without imprinting. So do we want 2 red here, or do I actually imprint the Spirit Guide?
They're just imprinted. It's still 2 red, but then you have a permanent mana source.
Sure. Yep, I guess that's true. Imprint that, and then we have a J-Will for another 7 mana, and everything's going to plan here, as they cannot deploy anything here.
Just as we drew it up.
Yeah, the Bauble, they could like cast a Force of Will that gets countered or something into it. But with the Defense Grid, they literally just can't act. All right, 7 fresh ones.
Are you feeling alive, Brian?
I am feeling alive. Yeah, I hear the casino sounds playing. And we do get a look at their deck, which, I mean, we saw Undercity Sewers, could have figured it out, but now we know they are full Rescaminator with the Entomb package based on what was discarded here.
Yep.
Storm is 11, so they're already dead with what I'm representing. I think I can navigate it from here. I simply put my cards into play, make 2 black mana, and they die.
You got it.
How much do you stunt on your opponent? Like, in this spot, I could have stopped 3 spells ago, but I like casting spells. Like, do you J-Will again, or are you just trying to conserve clock?
Um, probably just kill them. It depends. If I'm that close to grape shot, I'm probably getting them with the grapes because then you don't even show tendrils. I guess technically that is the correct thing to do.
Okay. So I should have stunted on him more.
Yeah. Yes,
Bummer.
it was legitimate to stunt more.
Okay. All right. Sad. All right. Sideboarding. So as far as cards that could actually come into the deck, most of these are sorceries for Burning Wish. I think every single one of these cards.
Void Snare does often come in. It's kind of incidental that you can get it with Burning Wish. But there's only one card that I want here.
Is it Echoing Truth?
Nope.
Uh-oh. Let me think about it. Okay, just tell me.
I write Spell Bomb.
Okay. What does that do for this plan?
We gotta often deal with Voidwalker, Bowmasters.
Okay,
post-board.
Voidwalker. That is the one that was off the radar.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm glad Tony's here, or else I probably would have not sideboarded at all. And just this one little change with 4-8 routes to this one little change. There's actually a lot of copies of a one of in this deck based on its construction. And what do we cut here?
So one of the reasons we have this Singleton Faithless Looting is it's actually a great sideboard card as well. So when in doubt, board this out. Or if you have 2 cards, when in doubt, board a Gamble out as well. Both of which, Gamble and Looting, have been in the sideboard for long durations within this deck, and they are great sideboard targets. So, yeah.
Right. That's a awesome layer of wish decks, is that your sideboard is for the wish, but then your post sideboard is still your sideboard for the wish. You haven't actually boarded a card out. In a way, we've just gotten more copies of Faithless Looting. That's cool.
Yep.
All right. On the draw, I see a... All right, we've got... Chrome Mox asked a lot of this hand. We have 3 red cards. We have turn 1 Bauble easily. We have turn 1 Defense Grid if we're willing to work for it. And then Jeska's Will, but not necessarily the mana to cast it. What do you think when you see this hand?
In these matchups, I mostly want protection and solid mana sources. We do have both of those things. They're both off of Chrome Moxen, which isn't great. It's going to hurt to get scammed. I would probably keep it. There's certainly ways that it goes wrong, and this may go to game 3 pretty quick, but if they don't have Grief, if we draw any land, I think we have a high density of the more important things. Plus, you're playing against Grief, so your hand is going to get you can go to the perfect 6 and then get your hand shredded anyways.
Right. Yep. All things that like I would have kept this hand without you here, but it is nice to hear that you just got to live on the edge sometimes.
Yep.
We didn't get griefed, and they didn't shuffle that ponder. Bonus grid. Okay. I'm gonna see if this resolves. It'd be sick if they forced it. Okay. The Spirit Guide becomes permanent under this thing. And then Rite of Flame. Or
I would actually hold that as opposed to Rite of Flame, because it's mana that they might waste a daze.
Okay.
And we can use our Spirit Guide. I would imprint the Jeska as well, because we're not going to cast it, and it becomes so much worse once they have less cards, and they're going to be forcing grids.
Okay. So that's a good insight. I was thinking Jeska's Will is our action once we deploy all this, but you're already planning for a later game where they fought over some of these things. Good to know. God, you're a mind reader. Do you guide out this Bauble, or do we just try again next turn?
Yeah, I would just wait. And it's pretty indicative that they don't have days, which is good to know.
Right.
Could draw into it, of course, but...
Yeah, they didn't grief us and didn't daze us after keeping Ponder, so they may have pondered into that Force of Will, or pondered into whatever their second layer after keeping on the strength of Force of Will is.
Or pondered into more ponders. Now are you feeling alive?
Yeah, living the dream. 3 ponders already visible on turn 2 with 1 land in play. They found a land. Burning Wish. All right, we have another engine. Gonna try another grid. We're in there.
Sweet.
Wasteland, you sucker. Played around it. Voidwalker, that one is spooky. Okay, we could just put Bergie into play and invest in the future, or we have this wish board to consider. We could also just cycle Vexing Bauble. What do you want to do this turn?
I would play Bergie while they're tapped out under this grid.
That's what I would have done as well if unsupervised. Love a Bergie. Cycling Troll. 3 cards in their hand plus this Underground Sea. They did see Bergie game 1. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have answered it no matter what. Now they have a Bergie in the void.
They're under the grid, which is very nice. We really want to draw LED here. I guess we got to deal with this Voidwalker, so it's going to take a little bit of time either way.
Yeah, we're squeezed a little here. Will, that doesn't do anything. So we have Cycle Bauble or Wish for something for next turn. What are your thoughts?
It's not a great spot to be in. We got to get this Voidwalker off the table, so I guess we're probably just getting a Grape Shot and hoping that we don't get griefed.
So we wish for Grape Shot. I am humiliated that I'm right now realizing that Magic Online autofilled this Grape Shot instead of the real one. I also have the bad tendrils in. I should get those just out of my collection so they stop ending up in my decks.
Agreed.
Okay, so we need something that is a spell, or anything that goes +1 mana works here. That's not it. Bauble.
I would cycle this.
Yeah, cycle Bauble.
Yeah.
Do you do it all right now? Or
Yeah.
wait till the end step?
I would just draw it now. There are things that we would want to play if we drew them.
Oh, sick. All right, that answer is Voidwalker, if we're not dead by then.
We have yet to draw any mana.
That's true. 4 mana Entomb. Turns out that card's really good if it resolves, no matter how much mana you spend. And they kept their Surveil. We're dead. Play draw with the Vexing Baubles is a huge deal, because I remember playing Rescaminator. Can we win this game anymore? Can I just concede?
If we draw LED and they don't have anything, we can blow up Voidwalker and spin it.
All right, so is it Grape Shot or a J-Will that goes here? Does it matter?
I know it goes into the void, but now we have Spell Bomb, so we can kill the thing, and we'll tendrils him instead.
Sweet. All right, I'll finish that thought. When I first was playing Rescaminator at one of the Buffalo Chicken events, I played against a bunch of combo decks on my way to top 8 and then in top 8. And they would resolve grid, and then I would grief their face off on my own turn. So Vexing Bauble supporting the grid, stopping both the grief and the force is a big deal here.
For sure.
All right, now we're dead. That was not Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool that we're drawing live there. Okay. Anything change? Probably not.
No. I guess technically we could have Jeska's willed for action if we hit LED pedal. Exactly.
Oh, sure, yeah. If we're...
But super low chance.
Yeah, it's super low. Worth talking about, though. I'm sure and you also post to YouTube, so you know there's always the person who's like, the following 0.0001% out was available to you.
Right.
If you value your time at 0 and don't mind boring your audience. Okay, well, we've got a path to LED, but we now know they're a Wasteland deck. But we do have a turn 1 grid. I would keep this.
Yep, 100%. I'd be imprinting the Spirit Guide here, not the Shatter Skull.
Okay.
Actually, if we imprint Shatter Skull, we're going to be left with only Echo and Spirit Guide, and if they grief us, we can use our Spirit Guide, then Echo winds up in the graveyard. So actually, I take that back.
Okay. Well then, Chrome Mox, exile the Shatter Skull Smashing. They're on 5 cards over there, so this line you've proposed might be a sicko. Grid.
Sweet.
Petal. Oh my god, please grief me. I'm so excited for this. Opponent's over there salivating with grief in their hand against a 2-card opponent. Oh, you coward.
Oh.
Okay, we'll just draw LED. Vexing Bauble. I mean, might as well play this. We can cantrip it before we get to the next turn. Do you want to cantrip it now, in case we draw a land, or keep the grief bubble up?
I guess I'm most worried about getting Void Walkered. So, yeah, I would cantrip it now. You could also consider making tokens. They didn't entomb, and they can't. So, unlikely to go over the top of us. I don't know, it's an interesting spot.
Right. So if we just don't play Bauble, we can make a 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make a 5/5 off of Spirit Guide, and then another one off Lotus Petal. If we
Yeah,
do
if we
play
want to.
Bauble, it would cost us Lotus Petal and Spirit Guide to make the first construct. So I kind of
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't. I
yeah.
wouldn't do both.
All right. I like keeping up construct gaming actually.
Yeah,
All right. I'm with you.
we're not even losing too much in terms of like our own velocity to do it.
Right. If this LED comes to fruition, we don't need this pedal or this Spirit Guide anymore. And if it doesn't, then I'd rather have constructs.
And if they Void Walker, we can get our Spell Bomb.
Hell yeah. Okay, if they Void Walker, am I popping Lotus Petal before it ends up in the void to make the first construct, then Spirit Guide the second one? Or does that matter?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. 1, 2, construct. All right, beatdowns. They've got 4 cards in their hand. Hydroblast doesn't punish this line. Do you make a second construct, or do you just Spellbomb the Voidwalker? Or we can do that anytime in the future.
Right, I would make. Yeah, I would make a second construct.
Okay.
And just put Spell Bomb into play.
I like it. All right, Spellbomb, and get the beats on. Flip the script. I've been in this position so many times, as I know you know, Tony, because you are the king of innovating this space where I'm just rolled up against combo and died at 2 5/5s.
Yeah, it is satisfying for us. And for you at this moment.
Reanimating a troll. That is so desperate. If we draw a mana source, they're actually just dead on board.
Yep.
It's just anything that can activate Spellbomb, or no, yeah, any mana source to get the artifact into play, or just this artifact. GG.
Yeah, because now you can play Spellbomb even.
Oh yeah, that's too. We've got them with the Spellbomb, but yes, you could have played Bauble and then bombed them off of LED. Smell you later. We boarded this in to kill you, and it worked.
We just needed a little more reach, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a lightning bolt that comes out of Urza Saga. Just how we drew it up. Opponent with the long pause. What's going on over there?
They're in disbelief.
Yeah, I think they passed out. I'm going to send a wellness check over. 911, check on iron bars. They were just typing a nice message. They said, well played, good luck in the league. Thank you. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
We are on the play in round number 2 against Cloud Goat Ranger, who is legacy content creator Callum Smith, who is one of the foremost painter servant experts in the world. Tony, what do we do with that information, and is this hand keepable?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that's what he's going to be playing. You never quite know. He does have a fair amount of range. This is a Reforge on turn 1, putting 2 Rite of Flames in the graveyard where they'll stay, and putting a mana source into play. I mean, Vexing Bauble, not too helpful against them. Grid is nice to have in play, but I would just jam.
Yeah, I agree. It took me a second to remember that the second Rite of Flame is Dark Ritual, and I was like, oh, we only have 4. But no, we're good. And if Callum is doing what he's supposed to over there, we're about to force mulligan his ass. Okay. This is where he just force wills us and we lose. All right.
Us with our defense grid and Vexing Bauble.
Yeah, right. I'll show you. Bang, bang, bang. Reforge this soul. Ah! I type in the chat, you lied to me. The long con. Okay, so we're probably in the Shadow Realm there and could have easily played around it by just playing Vexing Bauble on 1, passing, and then doing all this on turn 2.
Yeah, we would have been in much better shape against an unknown opponent.
He has described himself in the chat as a 1.5 trick pony. Here's our actual conversation. Did shuffle the Ponder, though. Okay. I don't think Grid is worth guide, since that's our only mana right now. Just play the Bauble and pass.
Yeah.
Tune the narrative. Okay. I know that Pokamoki has been exploring some Jeskai energy shells, and this might be something like that, which probably means Wrath of the Skies is in this main deck, which is going to remove every single permanent we control, except for Shatter Skull, if it is used. Can't cast it off that, though. Brain Surge. Oh my god. I hope we just draw a Mana Source and kill him with Constructs. Welcome to the Dirtle Party. Echo. Alright, well, we've got a plan for next turn. And do you draw from Bauble now in case we hit the land? Or is having both of these up somehow useful right now?
It's actually a minor non-bow to have both of them.
Oh, right, because this makes this cost mana.
Yeah, they pay 3 and then it doesn't actually get countered. But we can make a construct unbeknownst to them on their end step, which is nice. We give that up if we crack the Bauble. However, if LED or Gamble is on top, that would be very good for us, even if Faithless Looting. I would say forget constructs here. I really don't think we're going to be able to kill them with constructs. I would tap Saga and crack Bauble right now.
Yeah, I also was not thinking about constructs as a serious game plan there. Okay, just Bergie, and we're going to pass.
It's, I mean, back when the Narset was everywhere, you'd be kind of priced into holding that up so that you can pressure Narset, but if they have it, sure.
Okay. Yep. Opponent declined to use this Mystic Sanctuary. Is representing Force of Will right now. Petal. Do we want a construct, or do we want 3 extra mana? Or we're about to discard the hand anyway, or we could cast Bergie and then go for it. That's what we want to do. Okay. I figured it out. Gonna get Lion's Eye Diamond.
I mean, we're definitely getting countered. Well, I don't know. I mean, definitely cast Bergie.
Okay. Was I supposed to Spirit Guide the Bergie to get an extra mana off Lotus Petal? Or is this like a it works or it doesn't situation?
I mean, yeah, if you're going for it right now, then yes.
Okay. I blew it. All right. My red will be from this instead of from the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have Force or not.
Yep.
The other option was to get Opal instead of LED and play Horn to try to work through their Force, but then we're just so low on, I mean, then we're hoping to draw LED. Either way, very low percentage.
Right. This game brought to us entirely by thinking we knew what the opponent was on instead of just taking the good line. Oh, that is not what I thought was going to happen. All right. New game. Buzz. Here we go. All right.
New game where they're dead.
Yes.
On the spot.
You lied to me and it wasn't good enough, Callum. Live with your shame. Okay. Ancient Tomb wills up to 7 and there's not a thing they can do about it. Then we could still echo. Wish might even be lethal here on its own. I'm sure you've already done the math. I'm slower.
Yeah.
Will target you. Zoom. Bauble. I can play and cantrip Bauble, so that's 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is just lethal. 8. I like drawing cards a lot. I can just do that, right? Doesn't hurt anything.
Why not?
Yeah, why not draw a card? Look at that. Billing Storm. have double black without even using my LED. Magic
Value.
is easy. Opponent punted real bad by not having another force. Drill ya. Sick. Played that perfectly, I dare say. No mistakes made. Okay. I if we expect counterbalance, Haywire Might seems like a reasonable thing, but otherwise, what are your thoughts here?
Definitely Haywire Might. Almost any fair blue deck, I'm playing it because, sure, if they don't have counterbalance or deafening silence, then it's a waste. But it's very small opportunity cost to play a Haywire Might.
Right.
It could. I would also play Spellbomb because of Lavinia.
Okay.
Even less opportunity cost since it cantrips.
Yeah, makes constructs bigger as well. And as we learned last game, sometimes just getting them exactly dead to a Spellbomb activation is live versus blue decks.
Yep.
Okay.
I would board out the looting. I would board out a Chrome Mox as opposed to one of the gambles, however, because it's pretty bad against Pending, against what's that sweeper card?
Wrath of the Skies. Yep. We did call that one out in game 1. Lucky it didn't happen.
Just so we can mitigate getting blown out by that. But yeah, that's all I would do.
Sweet. Do you ever board more than 2 cards? Like, is there any matchup where like 3 or 4 cards come in?
Yeah. Matchups where you need Void Snare, Echoing Truth, Haywire Might, and then sometimes also the Spellbomb.
All right. Well, I have a turn 1 protected Echo here, so I'm gonna keep. If it works for you.
Sounds good to me.
Do we keep these? Is this good?
It's kind of what we're into.
All right. Here comes the deafening silence. Ah! I hate this. All right. Urza Saga. I need it now. Bummer. Okay.
Yikes.
Do we commit City of Traders to play Grid? You said you'd play Gamble?
Pedal.
Oh, Pedal. Okay. Pedal. And do we make the land drop?
I would just hold it.
Okay.
I mean, it's close. Playing City and Grid is also fine. It's mostly just, terrible all around.
Right. That's a 7-card keep too. He just had it. Disrespectful stuff. Will doesn't do anything. We could add the Grid here. We could gamble for Haywire Might, but that loses our green source to do that.
Yeah, I go Chrome Mox here.
Exiling one of the rights.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's so slow just mapping out. And I have played Storm into Deafening Silence before, but just even thinking about like Gamble is a turn, Haywire Might is a turn, the red source to gamble without losing our green source is a turn.
Yep. Okay, so that's pretty good. I go City Grid.
All right. Disrespectful.
What a jerk, man.
This deck is came to game against this sort of shit. Oh my god. I'm so jealous of our opponent right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be less jealous game 3 where we just dumpster them on the play. So I have to invest the diamond here. There's just nothing else to do.
I was under the impression that Callum was a nice guy.
All evidence seems to be contrary. I heard he had to change his MTGO username because it was problematic. That's a joke for the audience. I know someone's going to think I'm serious. It was like some obscure music reference, but also like could be construed as racism. And he noticed that and stopped. Okay. Do we just send it? Hope it works and concede if it doesn't?
Yeah.
All right. Off we go. All right. I don't want to play anymore. Okay. Now we are on the play. We have this Void Snare and Echoing Truth, which could be additional answers to permanent-based problems. Are we interested in the Snare is wishable? Do we want the Truth in now that we've confirmed that's part of the plan, or are we just leveraging the play?
I don't play them.
Okay.
Against blue. It's just, in my experience, you set yourself up for failure.
Sure. Yeah. And that's like important for the audience to understand too, because I talk about over sideboarding all the time and diluting your plan to the point where you don't actually have a plan anymore. And we only have 2 cards in, and Tony's already like, yeah, that's over the line. So like this is really light touch with sideboarding with this deck. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the efficiency of 4 Sagas and a Haywire Might is pretty strong. Plus they only play so many Deafening Silences, right? No way he could have it again.
Yeah, it's impossible to have it twice. Okay.
Yep.
This hand, we've got 2, 3, 4 mana. I could play Bauble on 1, or I guess this Chrome Mox isn't, or it can't be Burning Wish and Chrome Mox. So I could play Bauble on 1, and if the top of the deck is a mana source, we could Reforge on 2. But we've seen Deafening Silence and Spell Pierce in the list. Do you trust a hand like this one?
It's really close. I probably would. I don't think they're holding up Spell Pierce on turn 1, but he might. If so, I mean, it's definitely something that's very good against us that you just don't see much right now. Another reason why it's good, because you don't really play around it. Now that we know, I would keep it, and I would play my stuff out and hope that we can Reforge on turn 2.
And you're pitching the Wish to the Mox?
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it.
There's also Reforge off the top for a Miracle, and this way we put our mana sources into play to play into that. Probably the biggest downside is this: if we get stuffed, they're probably going to wipe our board pretty easily as well.
Yep, for sure. We've confirmed Wrath of the Skies, which we knew was in the deck off of the Tune the Narrative. That's not a card you play on its own merit. Ooh. We dodged the worst outcome. Now we just lose to Spell Pierce. Miracle? Okay. Well, we have Reforge. Does this get past Pierce too? Or are we on 6 mana right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Disappointing. And we send it though. There's no other. Well, there is one other plan, which is see if we draw another mana source to get ahead of Spell Pierce, but I don't think we can do that, right?
Yeah, and I would just jam.
All right, Rite of Flame, leave up the pedal.
Callum.
Yeah. Stony Silence in the grip. Too slow. Nice try though. Okay. This hand does not go anywhere. Or we have a bunch of mana for the future. Chrome Mox locked under our own Bauble at the moment. Saga is a plan starting next turn.
Yeah, I'm certainly not unhappy with this hand. You can't really expect to go off against the blue deck with your own Vexing Bauble in play, no land drop, only 1 mana.
Okay.
We're happy that we drew into a Saga and some action. Lands are decent.
I was doing some math to see if we could like relay here, but we're short because of the Bauble.
Yep.
And we did just give them 7 more looks at Wrath of the Skies and Deafening Silence.
At least we get to draw a card if they Wrath.
Right.
Draw a card.
All right. With the Spirit Guide or with the Pedal?
Well,
Pedal in play makes constructs bigger.
We actually have, hold on, because we have Volcanic, so that means we could bounce this with Burning Wish, but then you're actually tasked with winning after that, which is pretty rough. We're mostly just going to do Saga stuff here, so do we want the Vexing Bauble? Yeah, I would crack it. I would draw a card.
With Pedal or with Spirit Guide?
With Pedal.
Okay. So that makes constructs smaller, but it does use a resource that we're about to lose.
Any Reforges? Oh.
Okay, so we can wish for Void Snare. We could play Saga and wish for Void Snare and just bank it for next turn or for any turn in the future. Is that worth doing?
I don't think so. I would want to try maybe even to just cheese a win. But Wrath kills creatures, right?
Yeah, Wrath kills everything that you don't want it to, as this deck.
As the name would suggest, Wrath.
Yeah.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, we have enough mana. We could make some goblins and just hope they don't have Wrath. We could get Jeska's Will, hope we draw another red action. You could just relay. I would probably...
So we can make goblins and play Saga, but I guess
Yep.
we wouldn't want to play Saga because Wrath is the out to goblins, and that clears Saga too. So we could make goblins, make them deal with that, and follow up with Saga.
Yeah. Or the other way around.
All right, you're the expert. My thought is make goblins, sandbag the Saga. Which one do you think is actually better?
I really don't know. Just do goblins first. Yeah, we don't have to commit as much.
Okay, so we've got Volcanic Island, Cass, Burning Wish. That's Storm 1 with 2 mana still available. 4 mana still available. Storm 2, Storm 3. We're making 8 goblins here with nothing floating.
Yeah, I would just cast the Burning Wish without anything else first.
Okay.
I mean, we do have a Reforge, but obviously it eats it to a counterspell, and then
Right.
we're not really getting anywhere with it anyways.
Trying to empty these warrens. We can save a Spirit Guide if we play City of Traders.
It's probably worth it.
Okay. Chrome Mox, no imprint. Or do we want to imprint Smashing because we're good on cards in hand? Or, like, if we do at some point clear this Stony, like, how likely it is to clear the Stony is the question, I guess.
I don't think I would imprint it.
Okay.
Fairly unlikely. Or quite unlikely.
All right. Empty D's nuts. Here they come. This is a 3-hit empty, which is not pretty. We do have Alchemist Gambit if we find another wish. That makes it a 2-hit game. Oh, there's the second white. Yeah, we knew that was possible. Played around it as well as we could. Oh, I should have floated mana and played Spirit Guide. Shit.
You can still play it.
Yeah, it just cost life when it didn't need to. That was loose. All right. Playing tight over here. I don't think we're going to win this game in a close damage race. I think that's safe to say.
Smashing looking pretty good.
Yeah, that finishes off Jace. We don't get to make constructs if we do that, but we're also probably not beating Jace. That also plays into a counterspell. Or no, it doesn't, because we can grid and then bing for 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do that.
I'm going to grid. Okay, that was good enough for a force. I think I was supposed to shatter first. I'm just spiraling out at this point. I was supposed to shatter first because if they counter it, then I'd go face. Because we're never killing this Jace without this to work. We did it. Okay. All right, 1 construct. Control opponent at 3 with a devastating Wrath effect somewhere in their deck.
I mean, given the fact that they went Stony, had a Force, had a Wrath, Jason play, we're in a reasonable spot.
Yeah, we've made a real game out of this for sure. Stony is such a middle finger when Haywire Midas are out too. It's exactly the correct thing.
Yep. Yeah, Null Rod is one thing, because you can wind up getting Shattering Spree a lot of the time. But Stony is brutal.
It does seem like Callum has built this deck the way that I built blue-white decks, though, which is recognizing that combo is your worst pillar of matchups, just generically, and there's many and diverse big responses to combo in the sideboard here.
Yep.
A wish. That could not quite finish off Jace here. It could finish off Jace if we don't make a construct, but I could think I need a construct. I could also wish for Void Snare at some point.
Yeah, it's nice to hold on to it, I would say.
All right.
Make a thing and attack Jace.
Yeah, and since we're not casting a spell this turn, I'll save the life. Do I get a Bauble here because it still turns off Force, or is that too bad versus my own zeros with no way to pop it? I could get the Might because it just has power and toughness.
Yeah, I'd get Haywire Might.
All right.
It's kind of a last-ditch effort. Just get another body into play.
There's one more thing for Wrath to clear. Multiple Jace the Mind Sculptors over there too. Callum, you beautiful god.
I actually have a banner of Jace directly in front of me, behind my monitor on the wall.
There are 2 wolves inside you. Hey, they just picked up Force of Will with Mystic Sanctuary plus Jace. That is in hand now. I am ready to smash concede if they Wrath, and could have picked up the Wrath with the Mystic Sanctuary and went for Force instead, so I gotta assume we're getting Wrathed here. Okay, this is X equals 0, but there is mana in the pool, or energy in the pool already. We don't actually know how much he's spending to spend. Alright, killed his own Stony, though.
Whoa.
That's why. Just had it covered. Ay, caramba. How likely is this game to be worth playing at this point?
It's not.
Okay.
I would back it up.
I will spare the audience. I mean, it's
Yeah,
possible that he just draws 14 lands in a row and we run perfect, but we are making content here, and we don't need to waste everyone's time. On to the next round. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. We're on the play for round 3. We've been doing well with die rolls. This hand looks completely unplayable.
Ship it.
This one, okay. We've got this. All right, so we can. This looks like it's there. Just let me do the math. We've got Wish. All right, so land, right, Wish for Echo. We have to bottom something to the mulligan. Oh, and so this is one less card than it looks. I think we can assemble LED plus Echo here, but any gamble is a huge gamble, and if we miss, we lose. Did I assess this correctly?
It's a 50-50 Echo, or go to 5 cards, which is going to yield at the very least more than a 50% chance to put an Echo on the stack, so I would just mull it.
Right. Yeah. The issue is that we have guaranteed access to the Echo, but the LED we have to win a gamble on. If we just had LED in this hand, Echo is a free gamble. So gonna go to 5. No red, but there are 2 sagas and a bauble here, and we're basically playing to find a red source before we're dead. Is 4 going to be better than this?
It could, but this is a fine 5. I would just bottom the Burning Wishes, and we get to go bauble into grid, into, as long as we draw a red source or an LED, we'll get to Echo.
Sounds good to me.
Assuming our opponent is a goldfish.
And they usually are.
Yeah.
Certainly they didn't bring a deck and keep 7 cards.
It's a pretty weak format.
Yeah, right. All right, red source confirmed. So we can Echo next turn. And this is the inside out of what we were just saying about the first hand, which had guaranteed Echo, but the LED was a gamble. Here we have guaranteed LED. Oh, okay. If they're entombing, should I gamble now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this, if you entomb, I entomb. This is how this game works. Okay. Echo of Eons to the bin and go. This 5 does feel extremely satisfying. If they have Reanimate and Wasteland, we might be behind the action on that. So that's a redraw. Another look at Wasteland. Ooh, okay, sick. Okay.
Not a bad draw.
Yeah, float a mana. Get Lion's Eye Diamond. Get a bonus red in the pool. Is there any chance we're going to have to make a saga or make a construct off of this, or should I just use the colorless mana while it's free?
I think there's a better chance that we'll want the blue mana, so I would use it.
Okay. Colorless mana, LED, Echo leaving, blue, red floating. And okay.
Holy moly.
We have 2 redraws here and a lot of mana.
Start
with a redraw or start with right?
Yeah, I would play City and crack our bauble.
Because J-Will could flip here as well. So we have 3 more cards and zillions of mana. Yeah, if unsupervised, I would probably J-Will for cards here. what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I want to cycle the Bauble first.
Okay. Spending
You can play out
a blue or Rite of Flame, spend red.
one of the blues and the colorless, obviously.
Okay.
Bummer.
A blank.
Yeah, we're gonna go for cards now.
All right. J Willing cards here. So I don't really need to do this in this order, but it's what I've done. Rite of Flame and Mox Opal can tap for blue if we need it, so I can just use what I've got. J Will for cards. Petal Bauble. Jesus Christ. All right, well, that's one more redraw. Cast. Do I just use an LED on this?
1, 2. I would, because there's very few things that we can cast if we don't.
All right. Bauble, a redraw. Do I float with this LED first? I guess any 5 is the most expensive card we could draw that I'd want to cast.
Yeah, it's gonna be sad if we draw that, but yeah, I would actually crack it because, well, I guess we got to worry about Wasteland too.
And if we draw Echo, I'd rather have LED. Or if we draw Echo or Wish, I'd rather have LED uncracked.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
Okay. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Come on, deck. Fuck.
Wow.
All right, well, we're going to end up discarding this anyway, so I'm going to play it.
Yep.
That was a lot of looks at nothing. Sad.
Very.
But, I mean, they are still under grid. We have Saga still running. We're not dead on board. We have all these draw 7s. We can still draw 2. The Wishes, the Echoes, the Reforges, all live. Gamble live.
Yeah, the good news is most of the action that if we were to draw is quite lethal. And even if they Wasteland us here, which is probably the best thing they could do, we still have a ton of mana.
Right. Not a Wasteland. We did it.
And we have 2 looks.
Yeah, we have 2 looks because we can tutor Bauble. Get draw step plus Bauble redraw if we need it. If we don't need it, this could be a mana source. There's exactly 1 Bauble left in the deck. Opponent is just sculpting their hand as if it matters. They could have literally cast no spells this turn, and the outcome would be the same. Archon has us dead next turn.
Yep.
Okay, first draw. That is more cards.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I want Bauble here just to see more cards this turn.
Yeah, it makes looting a lot better, putting another card in our hand.
All right, last Bauble. All these zeros are in here. Then I have the floating colorless, just sack it off. Opponent said in the chat, Bauble and Storm decks is so sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tap my Mox Opal to Faithless Looting with a card still left over here.
Yep.
Come on, deck. Okay, we have 1 more looting. It's just an Entomb though. We're dead on board, so we just have to take it. Or no, we can use Petal, and we actually do get to properly loot.
Probably hold Ancient.
Oh, my bad.
It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
No worries.
I figured whatever card we had is the end of the line here.
Unless it's Echo is the only relevant. Come on, man. Okay.
We saw almost 30 cards in that turn cycle and somehow whiffed.
That's insane.
Yeah, Tony, have you considered this deck sucks and is unplayable and doesn't work? That was awesome. Okay, so the Pirate Spellbomb kills the dopes that we're worried about. And Faithless Looting. This is what we did last time against the same deck, right?
Yep.
Alrighty. I'm learning.
It's worth noting, in the challenge that I won, I went 4-0 against Scaminator, 3 of which were all 3 top 8 matches.
Nice. And
it's actually on my YouTube. I streamed it.
Sick. Yeah, everyone check that out. And we could see the bones of that outcome there. Like, obviously, we caught the cold hand of variance on that game, but they had a turn 2 Archon, and we had 2 chances to win through it. And it was the only thing the Archon actually did in that match was provide a clock, which, could have been like Goblin Rabblemaster would have killed us just as fast, or like Broadside Bombardier. Like, that could have been anything. It doesn't really matter that it's Scaminator because we're so good at turning off the counter spells.
Yeah, we were heavily favored. Although some would say it was a 50-50.
You had it or you didn't.
Either you win or you lose, right?
Yep. Half our deck is payoffs, half our deck is mana sources, just 50-50. What were the actual numbers? Like, not that it matters. All right, the game's on. I was gonna just start counting stuff. Okay, unprotected all-in Echo. Do you keep these?
I would keep this one. It's a chance to be protected. We can go Volk, Rite of Flame, LED. Well, we'd probably go Volk, LED, then Rite of Flame, and then you can gamble for Bauble.
Okay, that's sweet.
You'll have a 75% chance to put it on the stack.
Okay, Volk, Lion's Eye Diamond, Rite of Flame, gamble for a Bauble, Echo of Eons in the graveyard, Vexing Bauble on the stack. Opponent knows Force of Will is not good enough here. If they have Surgical Extraction, they're going to get us, but I don't even think Scam plays that card. Hell yeah. Force Pitching Daze on that. So we successfully duressed them. Let's see if it's good enough to win. All right, we got a spin and a pass. Basically,
Not bad.
it's as if turn one didn't happen, except they didn't get to keep this hand on purpose, but neither did we.
And ours is pretty decent.
They still had a Island Ponder keep situation, even on the involuntary keep.
Huh.
Spun them into the nuts. Okay. I kind of like J-willing them, seeing if they want to give us 7 mana, and then moving forward if we have it. Or do you settle into a Saga plan, or is there something very cool to do with Gamble that I'm not registering?
I think I want to play this a little slower.
Okay.
At this
Are you
point.
thinking like Gamble for Grid, or just play Saga?
Play Saga. You could gamble for Grid. We have enough cards in hand that it wouldn't be unreasonable. The problem is you still can't really play it around days unless you go City. Vexing Bauble is actually quite good here because that'll protect us from grief as well. So actually, I like play Saga and gamble for Vexing Bauble.
Okay. Yep.
And then we're going to hope that our Chrome Mox doesn't get hit by it because I would like to play around days.
We just entombed Vexing Bauble.
Perfect. All right, we're going to pass.
Just how we drew it up. The deck is the epic gamble, not the epic deterministic wins. Just putting that out there.
That's right.
No gamble, no future. All right, Troll. Barely register that as a threat. Who cares? Smashing. Okay.
Okay, now we have routes to like actual action instead of being super gambly if we want, I guess. Like you can play City, you can imprint Shatterskull, you can Jeska's Will, which they'll probably counter. If they don't, we have a ton of mana, and we can go from there, see what we want to do. We'll have a Jeska's Will and a gamble left.
Okay, I'm in. Chrome Mox, Exile Smashing, City, will target you. This is going to be net 3 mana if it works. Okay, they didn't fight over that.
Wow.
I mean, this could be a fight over the tutor versus fight over the find. Like with this few cards in hand, I'm not going to consider that they don't have an answer.
Let's draw 3.
Do you want to tap colorless for that, or leave up in case we need sagas or constructs?
Yeah, constructs might be a big part of this.
Okay. Then I will flip 3. Yeah, now they're hesitating. So, like, fighting over mana, I would have waited, too, in this spot. So now we get to Echo.
Yep.
All right. Rite of Flame, Gamble, Echo, send it.
The bummer is that we're one shy of being a token if they have another counter. I would have actually tapped the Saga for that one. Oh, they have...
Like Karumba.
We wheeled them into double force. Sweet.
Yeah, we wheeled them into this plus double force. Reanimate Troll, double force. Cool. All of this because we lost that gamble last turn. It's fine. We're just going to draw Echo or Burning Wish right now. Easy game. All right. Let's go again.
Now, we have 2 options here.
Yeah.
You could go for Vexing Bauble, or we could just go for LED. I'm more inclined to just go for LED and assume that they don't have another piece of relevant interaction.
All right. So hope for the best.
Should be the last Echo in the deck.
It is
Still one on the
indeed.
side.
Okay. Blue, 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 colorless.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. I would make red and then tap Volk for blue.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're out of echoes. Good call. Red, red,
Also,
red.
we just want red instead of a bunch of blue, you know?
Sure. Okay. Moment of truth. It happened. Okay, Burning Wish, lots of mana. Gambling for grid doesn't turn off. Force here. Storm is 2. Can make it 3, 4, 5, 6 pretty easily.
They're at 12 as well.
Oh yeah. Yep, the shortcut. I'm thinking gamble for Bauble. Because that does turn off Force. But grid doesn't.
Except for Force and Negation.
Right. So it's like a turning off a 4 of versus a 1 or 2 of.
I feel like they have to counter this Burning Wish, right?
Probably.
And we have... I would just cast this Burning Wish.
What are we getting if it resolves?
If they just let it resolve, probably a relay. You could also make goblins. They do have sweepers, though. Probably a relay. And then unless they have 2 counters after that, maybe you want to secure 1 Rite of Flame. But every card that we use is... our gamble's that much worse. If we had an Echo in the deck, this would be a lot easier to sequence. I would secure 1 Rite of Flame.
Okay. So play a Rite of Flame and then Burning Wish?
Yeah.
Okay. Wish. That resolved pretty quickly.
Wow.
What sweepers do they play?
Like Ratchet Bomb type effects.
Okay. All right. So we can make a lethal count of it's have it or die on Empty the Warrens, or we
You can also get Echo, then we can gamble for some sort of front side action again, like another Burning Wish or Reforge the Soul.
Are those things better than Relay? I guess it's like giving them a turn to play Voidwalker versus whether we think they have a counterspell now.
Yeah, probably not. I do think the Relay is probably just the right way to go. We can play the Rite of Flame. Well, maybe hold 1 Rite of Flame. I'd get Relay, play LED, or no, Rite of Flame would be the next thing to cast because they might counter this.
Right. And if they suddenly go into panic mode, then the next right gets it through.
I would maybe hold that one though.
Okay.
Play LED.
I have my land drop, but I don't need it right now. Use Echo for 7 cards or Relay for 7 cards. Hope to figure it out next turn.
Yeah, I'd relay here. See if they have no, they didn't counter the trigger. Grid is a good start. This is not as good a relay deck as the previous iterations, but it's still 7-card relay. We already have a lot of resources.
We hit Wish, Grid, and a bunch of mana. All right. Is there anything to gamble for now while our hand is chill, or do we want to save that for next turn? Like we might lose this right that we just didn't cash a card in off of.
Right. I mean, you have a chance for lethal, but it loses to even days. I think they don't have a force, which is nice to know. You could go for a 50-50. I would probably just hold it. This Rite of Flame is huge.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. And in some massive fail case situation, I think Shatterskull can kill Troll and Voidwalker next turn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it does a total of 12 if you have 8 mana.
Right. It doubles after exit 6.
Yep.
They're putting us to 5 here. Even a reanimated Archon doesn't do that much right now. They don't have any haste creatures. Did not shuffle Ponder. B-Storm.
That usually indicates they like multiple of the cards that they saw.
Like brainstorming after pondering to me makes me feel like they just found brainstorm off of ponder. Because normally they're not showing a shuffle. I mean, they have 7 cards in hand. They might have a million ways to shuffle, but if you can't shuffle the Brainstorm, you want to use Ponder second.
Depending on how hard you're digging.
Right.
Because if you're looking for something specific, you don't find it, you can shuffle and see 3 fresh ones.
Right. Okay. So they have tapped out of Grid, and I can Tomb Grid, go to 3, and then we're safe.
Oh, we don't have Wish.
Oh shit, that was
In exile from
Alright, so we're gonna have to gamble to win this turn.
Perfect.
We have plenty of mana to do stuff though. Can we get the
let's play the Tomb.
First?
Let's try.
Tomb and
tap
right, so
it
this
and
is 3, 4, 5. Okay. Alright. Defense Grid, start there. 6 cards in hand. 1 down. Petal, Diamond.
I go right for gamble.
Alright, so it's more important to win the gamble than it is to have a bunch of mana.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Gamble. Are we getting a Reforge here or a Wish? Or a Burning Wish?
Burning Wish.
Burning Wish. We discarded
Perfect.
Chromox. Okay.
Cast Rite of Flame. And then we can Wish, crack 1 LED for black.
Alright, here we go. All in, baby. Black, black, black. Cool. It resolved. Tendrils of Agony.
Just gotta hope they don't counter the Storm trigger.
Alright, we did it. Yeah, Consigned to Memory. Powerful new addition to the Legacy format. That card has been insane every time I put it in my deck or have to play against it. Alright.
Agree.
Same plan?
Yep.
Let's go. Redemption arc starts now.
We've had some complicated gamble situations. It's a lot of the times that just doesn't happen. It's super obvious and you don't have to think too hard. But often enough, you do wind up in very complicated gamble situations.
Yeah, this league is putting us through our paces. Really getting your money's worth to showcase the deck to the people here. Okay, a turn 1 unprotected and requires a gamble to echo. But lots of mana plus Saga if we want to take our time. What do you think here?
I would keep it.
Okay.
Having solid mana under us is probably one of the most important things. And having reasonable action is certainly another one. We're mostly just looking for protection or additional action.
Yep. This Brainstorm makes me think they have Grief in hand and they're looking for a black card they want to pitch, or they just need a Grief.
Yep.
We haven't seen a Grief yet out of them in 2 kind of long games, but this turn 1 main phase Brainstorm indicates Grief to me.
And there's got to be some number of people who are playing without it just because it's going to be gone and they're trying to test without it.
Right. Confirmed. Take the Echo, take the Echo, take the Echo.
My Copium was immediately snatched from my hands.
Well, we knew that's what the Brainstorm conversation was about. If they are playing Griefless, whether by design or by testing for future formats, they would not have just turn 1 main phase Brainstormed like this if Grief wasn't in their deck.
It didn't stop me from huffing the Copium.
That's
or
true.
them snatching it from my hand.
Maybe they won't find the Grief. That's a reasonable call. All right, we are pretty good at Saga gaming here. So I'm thinking just play Saga, put Spirit Guide under Chrome Mox, play Mox Opal. Now, if they Grief me, it has to take Echo.
Yep.
Which also turns off their best current reanimate target. Sucks we drew Mox Opal and we're incentivized to play it out, or else might actually get them to dump our Echo for us.
Yeah. No Wasteland. So Voidwalker.
Yeah, that or Frog. Yeah, Frog. It can fly, and it's probably going to need to. Another Spirit Guide. Can't quite Echo here. Frog versus Saga. We're just playing Painter here. Would you make them discard 3 cards here, or 2 cards, to win combat, or do you actually want the Construct in play?
I think I want the Construct.
Okay. All right, so they can, if we make a Construct, do we want to make a Construct to see if they're going to jump it? Like, we could at least kind of get them on the hook for the flying if they really want to draw a card here.
Can't they just wait? Well,
like, if
yeah,
we
sure.
make it, they might jump it before we even make the decision to block.
Yeah.
And that's a resource they won't have later. even though we don't intend to block. Okay, I mean, that was going to work regardless. Sure. Now we got them tapped out if we draw a way to play this Echo without LED. Okay, so we didn't... Go ahead.
I think I would still LED. There's a decent chance that Will either hits some good action or protection.
Okay, do you want to make a construct on the way out, or are we trying to win now?
Yeah, I don't want to make a construct at this point.
Okay, so we get LED, and then we J-Will for cards first.
I think so, yeah.
Top 3 cards. They've got 3 in hand over there. One of them they just drew. 2 of them they've been sitting on for a minute.
Damn.
Grommock's Rite of Flame. No help there.
Can't
There's
buy
a
a
backup
bucket.
saga if we fail. That's at least something. Do we... I guess we would lose Metalcraft, so Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, Float Mana. I guess we can regain Metalcraft, but we lose it if they're on soft permission.
I would wait on Chrome Mox, wait on Saga, cast Rite of Flame off of Spirit Guide.
Okay.
I guess you can tap Mox Opal for red and then use LED for blue.
All right, here we go.
Go 2 and 2.
Dramatic Pause. And Gorilla Tilt.
Brutal.
Saga. Can't cast it any other time. Here's Chrome Mox. Okie dokie.
It's pretty rough beats to have not hit protection or action off of that Jeska as well.
Yeah, this opponent has the narrator behind them right now. This was the same match where we just saw 30 cards and whiffed in game 1.
Yep.
There's that. Okay. Construct Gaming for now on. Here we go.
Well, at least we can do this on your account so I can remain on my streak.
Yeah, this doesn't count as you losing. Feel free to blame any blemishes on the record on me. I put a lot of play cantrips, normalize your experience, energy out into the world. So playing a deck that's literally called Gamble was never going to work for me. Okay. This is a 4/4. They would have to discard 2 cards to kill it, but they have 2 cards. Let's see if they jump the frog before blocks. Cool. All right. Got them on the hook for that. It's not going to block anyway. They could just discard and put me to dead next turn. I guess they don't have to discard. They could put me to dead next turn anyway. Psychic Frog is so fucked.
Just draw a Burning Wish or Reforge.
Vexing Bauble, redraw. So Frog is 5 damage. I can make a construct and tutor Pirate Spellbomb, clear the Voidwalker, and have a reasonable like bash plan here.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Or no, Brazen Bar is over there too. We're actually just dead. So I have to redraw here.
Well, I would get LED with the Saga and hope that this Vexing Bauble is the redraw that gets us there. If we get a Vexing Bauble off of this Saga, we're not going to have enough mana to do anything if we draw something anyways. Feels like.
But we have to clear the Voidwalker, right? For most lines to work?
We're looking to draw Burning Wish.
Okay, so we just want LED.
Yeah.
And hope for the best. Bauble. And immediately redraw. Might as well tap Ancient Tomb because we're dead anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Are we sacking the LED in response to this
draw?
Draw for the win. Burning Wish. Okay. Okay. Now what? We did it.
We have 3, 4, 7, 5 mana post Burning Wish. So it's only Storm 1. I mean, we can Reforge. It's going to be as good as it gets. Reforge the Soul. Walks into a daze, but...
Yeah, and gives them 7, and Voidwalker's still in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're 1 short of peering.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Actually, 2 short of peering. Yeah, we just Reforge the Soul. We only have 2.5 minutes.
All right. I got a sack LED here. Red. Okay. They made that easy.
They just had it anyways.
All right. I mean, that was the deck living up to its name. We did gamble epically and lost. Tough weekend in Vegas. But again, we're showcasing everything that this deck's capable of. On to the next round. BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. We're on the play, 4 out of 4 die rolls. Not that it's helped. We're wasting our luck on die rolls. I'll take the draw if we can convert on a single. Draw 7. But we've got 2 mana and basically nothing to do here. Yeah, okay. Easy mo.
Yeah.
This one is the same and worse.
Yeah, chip it. I'm pretty sure this is a reanimator player,
Like Rescaminator or red black.
like red black, and some. I'm pretty sure it's like a tin fin style.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But-
Opponent
but
has
it's been a
kept
while.
6. R5 also doesn't play the game.
Yeah, I would chip it. Just looking for an echo hand at this point.
This 1, 2, 3 on 4. This is not an echo hand. Not a turn 1 echo hand anyway.
2,
1, 2, 3.
3, 4. I would just keep this and keep Chroma. Get rid of 1 Saga and 2 Petals, and then just imprint Burning Wish, play Saga, and put Echo in your graveyard.
Okay. Will do. Just put it in the bank. This is a big bet based on thinking we know what the opponent's doing. Gamble for Echo. This turns off any discard spell they might cast. And we can send it turn 3 or next turn if we draw a blue source, which there aren't a lot of raw blue sources. There's like Petal and the 1 Volcanic Island. Mishra's Factory. I've been deceived.
The old the old Mishra's Factory Reanimator deck.
Our instincts have not been good this league, but Grid was an insane bridge here. Oh, they're playing Pox? Oh no. All right, well, we're gonna have to beat a Bowmaster.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 19, so we can wheel twice. Sure. LED, and just send the shit.
Spin it.
Okay. These numbers look good to me.
Yeah, they're dead.
And this is something, like, I know that you are anti-Bowmaster, and it's been a while since we've had to have this conversation because everything else is more broken than Bowmaster right now, but the fact that you can still just fearlessly wheel into Bowmaster and just win makes it very different than, like, Narset or Leovold in my mind. Okay,
Yep.
let's actually execute our combo, though. We've got Rite of Flame, J-Will, makes 7. That's Storm is 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they deterministically dead with what we're looking at, or basically dead because we get to Reforge?
Basically dead because we're gonna peer.
We're gonna peer, okay. Doesn't that kill the shit out of us?
Oh fuck! Sorry, swearing. Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
wasn't looking at the
No Veil of Summer Defined in this build.
So we're probably going to Desire then.
Ooh, I like that.
I'd definitely Rite of Flame, Will for mana.
Okay, Rite of Flame. Do we? I guess Volcanic Island can be blue if we need that, so I'll just spend what we have. I still have a land drop here. Add red. That's 7. Wish for Grape Shot clears the Bowmaster if that does anything. Like we could wish for Grape Shot, clear Bowmaster, gamble for another Echo, and take another spin.
You could.
Or is there a cleaner win here?
You could also ignore Bowmasters and get more mana. You can get more mana through Burning Wish into Jeska's Will. Is still +2 ritual. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I like. So if you go Burning Wish to get Jeska's Will, get more mana, play LED, then you can gamble for another Burning Wish. If it hits, is that actually lethal? That'd be 3, 4, Storm 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'd be 1 shy for Tendrils. You could gamble for another gamble at that point. At that point we could desire for like 9. So the question is, what's better? Desire for 9, or if we miss, then we can still reforge, and we're not dead to the Bowmasters, and we probably still kill them, and we have a ton of mana, with the upside of desiring for 9, which is definitely going to be better than reforge. Is all that better than just killing Bowmasters and reforging?
Yeah, if unsupervised here, I would kill the Bowmaster. Like, if this is mono black pox, which who else would do this? They clap us for 8, and even after clearing this, we still see at least 7 more cards this turn with mana floating.
You can also potentially get an Echo. So you can Burning Wish Grape Shot, right?
Yep.
Then you can gamble or play LED, gamble for Echo, and
Right,
as long
that's
as it
the
doesn't
line I'm
hit
thinking.
Reforge, yeah.
But even if
Let's
it
do
does
that.
hit Reforge, we still get a fresh 7.
We still have Echo, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a serious upside to being able to reforge with an Echo in your graveyard.
Okay, get Grape Shot, play LED, 1 on Bowmaster, and then the rest on their head. This lowers the future necessity of storm count for Tendrils.
Oh, wait a second. Why did we not count this mana correctly? Yeah, okay, we're just gambling for Echo then.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Do I play the land first?
Yeah, I would. Okay. I had it in my head that we were Jeska's Willing and had more access to red mana.
Okay. Give 1 of each in the pool. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of a mess, but we can see a bunch more cards here.
Yeah, I would looting.
All right. Start there. Okay. Gamble. We're going to continue this party. Gamble for that last Echo. Do I want to make blue with this and leave a blue in the pool, or are we out of blue cards to cast?
We're not out of blue cards, but I'd most of the time would rather have double red than blue, and
okay.
We have Petal anyways, so.
Oh my god.
Brutal.
Insane. All right. Well, the Bauble can come into play, and
wait.
Oh shit! Sorry, I already clicked on it. Did I blow it?
That's fine. Just passed. I mean, we were gonna pass anyways, but.
Play petals and LEDs first, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be cracking the Bauble anyway, so it's not a big deal.
By the way, viewers, if you have been watching this league and my Storm RNG coming through my fingers and thinking, why would anyone play this deck? Go watch Tony's channel instead. Okay.
Well, we definitely made the wrong play there. We should have desired for 9.
Okay.
Or we would have had a very good chance to, with a fail case of reforging.
Oh my god. What is this going to be? Thoughtseize. Okay. That is mostly whatever. Probably lose Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah, which is a bummer.
All right, we're at 1. And I'm going to discard Saga. That is the least mana next turn. Okay. I can block for a turn. Or do we want to take the redraw?
I would take the redraw. Then you can always just, if you have to, play Spirit Guide.
Will is for 3. But we need the cards, not the mana. We also need the mana, though.
Yeah, just play a blocker.
City, Spirit Guide. And is Lotus Petal more important for Storm next turn, or playing around discarding it? I guess J-Will is what they would take with discard regardless.
Right.
All right.
It's only relevant if they, like, double grief you.
Yeah, or Smallpox is just lethal here. Factory, Bowmaster's lethal. Jesus, don't do stuff. Liliana is lethal. Any removal spell. Like Karumba. All right. So,
so
we
the
other line.
Punted, though.
Okay.
It's all right. I'll take a spell bomb. Trying to think, they're probably going to be playing Null Rod, so I would play the Void Snare and the Echoing Truth, and I would cut 2 grids and a Vexing Bauble.
Okay, so because this isn't a blue deck, we're leaving all our spells alone, which is what we've been cutting against all these blue decks, and we just care less about this stuff now.
Yeah, we might even want Haywire Might over the other grid.
I'll buy it. Grid does make Bowmaster less of a surprise, but I guess if they have up 2 black or 2 mana, we just know that that's what they have anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a gamble for Echo. Do you keep these?
I would keep this. I'm considering if we go Spirit Guide, Gamble for Ancient Tomb. If it doesn't hit the will, we could use the will, and then Burning Wish into Reforge. The Gamble is going to hit. I mean, ideally it hits Echo, and then we're really cruising. If it hits one of the Burning Wishes, that's not a big deal. If it hits Jeska's will, then I guess we're in trouble. So yeah, this is probably more just a gamble for LED. Yeah, I'd keep it.
All right, let's go. Don't ley line us.
At least we have the previously mentioned line.
No.
If they do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess we have to take that one then.
Yeah. So use both. They're down to 5 cards. So it actually would wind up being.
That's mana
real
neutral.
We're really hoping this gamble hits Echo.
Okay. Gamble, and we're getting Ancient Tomb.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just hit
Ancient
itself.
Tomb straight into the exiles.
Yeah, pass it over.
I'm losing my mind. All right. Gyre Reach Sanitarium. That's the card they play. We have another Echo now.
Perfect. Does Pox typically play Leyline?
Yeah. They're just pretty desperate to do anything against the super busted decks.
Yeah.
Is this better in play than in hand? Safer?
I would say so.
We're exiling Will? Or, I mean, blue mana doesn't really do anything, but these are the cards we don't care about.
Yeah, I'd imprint the will.
Our answers to Leyline are both blue, but there's only 2 of them, and they're not really tutorable.
Can't remember the last time I've actually looked at a Pox list.
I actually just recorded with Pox yesterday, so I'm fresh. But this one is different than my list. I didn't have Gyre Reach Sanitarium, that's for sure. I was doing stuff with Ripples of Undeath, the new Black Sylvan library. Okay, full house.
Yikes.
We're super dead. What are our outs here? Do we keep playing this game? Can we move on with our lives?
We draw blue source and event. That doesn't do it. Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I mean, it was late. So that sequence there, just to break down and not tilting off or anything, just talking about like reasonable distributions here. So if they don't have Leyline, we have to win a 5-card gamble. And if they do have Leyline, we have to...
it'd be 1 out of 7, right? So we have 7. Is it a 7-card hand?
There's a 7-card hand. We have to use Spirit Guide. It was a 6-card gamble.
1 and 6, yeah.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have pitched the second Spirit Guide. So yeah, all right. So if they don't have Leyline, we just have to win a 6-card gamble. They did have Leyline, which meant we had to miss 2 different cards on a 5-card gamble. So that's it goes from slightly better.
No, as long as it didn't hit itself, we were actually going to function.
Right.
But
okay.
Obviously, we hit the worst case scenario. In retrospect, if I had known Leyline was, I didn't think too hard about it. But if I know for sure Leyline is in Pox, then I'd probably just mulligan that hand.
Okay. All right. So caught us. I thought about it after we kept. I started thinking about their hand, and then they mulliganed, and it felt like they were chasing. But okay, so probably a mulligan if Leyline's on the docket.
Yeah.
Okay. So like 40% have Leyline in a 7 versus a over 80% gamble versus then a 60% gamble where we are 80% to function and 60% to be actually doing well. But then the mulligan in delay line, them starting the game on 5 before they've taken an action, actually hampered our J-Will in another way, which hampered our plan. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of math involved in that, and we just caught all the worst of it. Do the final round. Maybe we'll get one.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
5 for 5 on die rolls. Is it safe to say we've been very lucky this round, Tony? This league, winning all these die rolls, that's got to be good.
Certainly on the die rolls, yeah. But as you said, we're wasting it on the die rolls.
Yep. Okay, so we've got a gamble and some mana. What does this do, and is this a keep? This looks like too many chrome boxes for me.
It echoes and puts with a Tomb and Chrome Mox and Metalcraft in play.
It does echo. Okay. Do we keep these in the blind on the play? Just all in?
I would.
Dead to force? All right. Let's go. We've been dead to force all league. And that hasn't been the problem. The problem's been looking at 30 cards and missing. Okay. So the sequence is Chrome Mox. Please force this, holy smokes. There's a pause. Okay. Exile, Rite of Flame, and then we just play out every other card to make sure the gamble is in Tomb. They're pausing on everything, which might mean they don't know how to F6, or it might mean they're representing, or it might mean they actually have. How much weight do you put on your opponent's MTGO behavior when you're sculpting a line?
Very little. Arguably not even enough.
All right.
Cool. Just because you never really know.
Cool. It worked. And now we have... I could play Grid and pass and set up for next turn.
I would play out Petal and... I don't think we want to Bauble first.
Yeah, Bauble
if they are in a
brief.
Yep.
And other Chrome Moxes and Lotus Petals if they're a Stompy deck. That Draw 7 did just resolve. Maybe Bauble does make more sense.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely play out the Petal. I do think I would just play the Bauble.
Okay. Yeah, Bauble does check more boxes on turn 1, and then it can bridge into Grid starting next turn. I'm with you.
Opposing Chrome Mox and Chalice on 0.
Okay, go. And now they have a 7 that they didn't keep on purpose. Blue deck. Or green deck. To be determined. Basic Forest. Burgeoning.
What?
Well, we won't be playing many lands. This is not a good matchup to burgeon against.
Can you read it for me?
Oh, you don't even know this one. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you can put a land into play from your hand.
Oh. Fair enough.
Yep. We're in the 1-3 bracket, baby.
Been playing since Revised, and I've never seen that card in my life.
One of my dear friends played a lot of this in EDH. That's why I know about it. Okay, so playing a land could create some kind of issue. Like, I don't know, they could zap in a Bajuka Bog, or like they could get a land that represents crop rotation. So if we're going to play a land, we should probably grid, or we could try to do this without a land.
I'd play grid.
Okay. And then we have a line to echo here. Okay. I'll start with grid. So we'd have to clear our own Bauble to take an echo line. Let me math this, and then you can tell me where I did it wrong. We've got 2, 3, 4 mana available. Have to use 1 on the Bauble. So that goes +1 card in hand, makes the gamble better. Then we have exactly enough mana left to wish for echo, gamble for LED.
I'm not sure I'm inclined to like try to go for it this turn.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just disrespecting this card on the other side of the table,
yeah,
but
maybe. I have no idea what this is. I assume it's some kind of lands or depth strategy, and we could go as fast or as slow as you want here.
I feel like Collector Roof is really the only reasonable thing that I'd be afraid of here, of which we could probably still wiggle our way out of. I think I just want to crack this Vexing Bauble.
With the red? Or are we still So I'm thinking if they're a Green Sun Zenith deck, if we play a land, it gives them more lines to oof.
Right.
Or we could just disrespect
I
this.
think I'm still playing the land. I would just play Tomb and probably tap Tomb.
Okay.
Because we might need the additional red.
All right. We'll see what they burgeon in here.
Your friend, quote, played a lot of it. Didn't play it, played a lot of it?
Dude was hooked on burgeoning. He was basically of the opinion that any mana advantage in EDH is worth deck slots for, and like burgeoning exploration. He played Aether Vial in a lot of EDH decks. Like the dude was obsessed with mana.
Can respect that.
Scattered Groves came in. Another Rite of Flame. Does this change our life?
4/5 means we could relay. What's our storm?
We've got one storm right now.
No, I'd probably just need Burning Wish for Reforge.
And then just bank it for next turn.
Yeah.
Okay. And that means we're saving the rights. We're not gambling. Okay, so Wish for Reforge pass is the line here.
I think so, yeah. I mean, if they oof us, we'll be sad that we use the Burning Wish, but I just can't really respect what's happening right now. I'm having a difficult time respecting
putting in
it.
Scattered Grove is certainly wild. This might just be some insane Field of the Dead pile. Oh yeah, this is Turbo Mulch, whatever they're called. 8 Mulch. Field of the Dead. There's Bajuka Bog. This is probably just like the 9th exploration in their Turbo Mulch deck.
Right.
And we might be seeing right now why it's not actually an exploration.
Right.
Waterlogged Grove is the land they've played. Okay. Burning Wish now in the mix here.
And they have 7 cards, so Burning Wish is a +2 ritual with Jeska as well. Because we only have access to red, really. We can... If we cast... There might be like a gamble for LED line that's reasonable here. Because then we can peer. You'd have to cast Rite of Flame first. And then it's a 60% chance. With the fail case of if LED gets hit, then we just rip the other ritual, play a land, and Reforge.
Okay. So
60% chance to win on the spot with the backup plan of a Reforge. So that'd be Rite of Flame, gamble.
Okay, so one thing that I just want to make sure we're considering, this volcanic island or whatever land drop we play represents Bajuka Bog. Do we care about that with our sequencing? Like we could just play Volk now, see what land they put in, and be done worrying about burgeoning for the turn. Or
you could do that instead of Rite of Flame. Because it's the same. We just need to make sure our Volk doesn't get hit by gamble, or that we have a red post gamble. So yeah, just play the Volk instead of casting Rite of Flame.
Okay. Here comes the Burgeon.
Ing.
Oh, did we need to J-Will first? Because now they're going to have 6 cards in hand. Was that part of this line? Or were we gambling first?
No, this is an LED line.
Okay. They went with Yavimaya, so right now they're representing maybe Beseiju. Okay. So, gamble for LED is how we start this party.
Yep.
LED puts Reforge in the graveyard, which means we can peer.
Yep.
We've got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. Cooking. All right. I'm just going to cast spells now. Right. LED. Ancient Tomb. Burning Wish, hold priority. Make black. Use BoshNRoll's ability. It's my ability now. Okay, peer into the abyss.
I would tap the Tomb.
Yeah. And then the abyss calls to me. 2 red in the pool. Here comes 22 cards. Okay. Now we have to make sense of this. I'm sure it's lethal. Is it lethal? What are we looking for to determine lethality? There's a Reforge, there's a gamble. There's no wish in this hand.
Horn will do it.
Oh, horn, sure.
If half of your deck isn't enough, how about the other half?
Okay, so we have Bergie and Horn. We could probably get Bergie into play and then just zoom up to
Yeah.
Horn here. Rite of Flame's worth 500 mana right now.
Just about.
I think it would be hard for me to mess this up. I'm going to try to click through it for a
Very.
while. All right. Bergie, Horn Queen. So they could Besage you the Horn, but then we just discard everything in response. So that doesn't solve their problem. And this is when I play a land. So they can't Besage you. I tutor a land, then they get another thing. That would be a sick thing. Doesn't work that way. Weird card.
Very.
Stumping out zeros first. Do we want blue mana ever? Like, is exiling Echo ever going to matter? Or do I just exile the smashing like a normal person?
Or, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. All right, smashing's out.
Just
And
play the horn.
Arnfell, Horn of Horns. Okay. Here comes some cards. LED. There's a gamble. There's a Burning Wish. Now we win.
Probably want to make that window bigger.
Which
For
window?
people to
Oh, this
see.
one? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Although you can fill in the blanks. What
Yeah,
cards
yeah.
are there? The
Yeah,
rest
Burning
of them.
Wish is the only one that actually matters here because we have Lines to Tendrils and plenty of Storm.
Yep. Yeah, I would just cast the Burning Wish.
Okay, and we have. I need to make black. Or no, I have 2 black. All right, yeah, we're good. Burning Wish. Yeah, Tendrils. Black, black. Okay. There's still a grid in play. Same targets. They said in the chat, I feel like I missed something. How can you peer into the abyss? I just typed Lion's Eye Diamond in the chat. What does that mean? I don't understand the question.
Opponent got up to get a drink, came back.
Yeah.
We have 22 cards. Wait a second, what?
Oh, they just don't understand how floating mana works. Yeah, they don't know the Burning Wish hold priority sack LED trick. I just explained it in the chat. Okay. Haywire Might and the bounce things. They said their chat log wasn't showing that. I don't know what to tell you. I've answered your question. All right. Okay. Yeah, they confirmed they looked away for a second. Exactly what you said. All right. I imagine lock pieces are how they're going to try to beat us. Maybe Mindbreak Trap, but we have answers to that sort of thing. Mana Bond doesn't work with Mindbreak Trap, so that like cuts off one of their deck's engines. Okay. Talk me through this, but I'm looking at these cards, or these 3 kind of in like this, then this order.
Yeah, I would bring in all 3 of those. I would trim probably a grid and 2 Vexing Bauble. They're not useless because of Force of Vigor.
Yep.
And as you said, potentially trap, but we don't really want 7 of them.
Yeah, I agree. Those are the cards I'd be worried about. They could play Endurance, like lock pieces like Oof and Null Rod, and then their pitch interaction would be Endurance or Force. And if they're a Psycho, they might have traps. But this plan makes sense to me. They could have Veil of Summer also, but we have Grape Shot. All right.
Yeah, we have a lot of ways to beat Veil. Or 2.
Okay, on the draw, we have a Vexing Bauble. This is a Wasteland deck, which would mean we're playing on Chromox LED. The hate piece is in the hand. Wish, you have to cast it this turn, or play it this turn, so we don't get to bank it for future turns. 1,
I think
2,
we can do better.
4, 5, yeah. I think so too. This hand, if I bottom LED, now they're mulling 2, so the J-Will isn't even necessarily good enough for Reforge mana. I think we can do better than this too. What do you think?
It's close.
1, 2, 3. Like if we draw any red card and they have 5 cards left in their hand, we can Reforge. If they don't participate with the J-Will, we're a long way off from doing anything.
Well, we'd still have a ton of mana, both with LED and like up front, so we'd be very lethal to cards off the top.
Okay.
But yeah, let's try it.
All right. What are we getting rid of?
One of the LEDs.
Okay.
No ley line.
Yeah, they kept 6. Turn 1 burgeoning. Let's go. I don't even have a land. Exploration. That's much better than burgeoning. Wasteland confirmed. 3 cards in hand. J-Will is neutral. Okay, we can just send the shit now.
Send it.
All right. All right,
Yeah,
so
probably.
go ahead.
The question is, do we imprint Will or Reforge? Or we could even just imprint Shatter Skull and open ourselves to a land drop. That
Yeah.
being like an Ancient Tomb or something. Because I'd probably rather redraw Reforge or Jeska's Will than I would Shatter Skull.
Okay. And there are timing windows where Force of Vigor is bad for us here. So if I play out the LED, they could force in response to gamble, and then we are kind of stuck.
No,
but if we lose the gamble, it's just too bad. So we just play it out.
Stuck at,
all right.
We're not stuck at that point because we'll be hellbent, so the Echo will just go to the graveyard.
Oh, yeah, 6. No, you're right. Cool.
Wait, use
right. Spirit Guide.
Yep.
Probably better even than tapping the Mox. My bad. All right. Yeah, it's like the Force of Vigor doesn't even matter here.
No, a lot of times it doesn't. Sometimes it'll force you to obviously crack your LED, which can be relevant if you have an Echo in your hand.
Right.
Sometimes.
And we're leaving the red up after this.
Yeah.
It has to be Mindbreak Trap. It wasn't. This looks like a lot. We can Burgie, 2 mana, 2 mana. We can gamble for another Echo here, or is there a actual line to tendrils right now? Burgie is 5, and then 6, 7, which represents 4 mana. Only one of it's black. We can Burning Wish with 3 mana still floating. Still only one of it's black. That's not quite enough.
Yeah, I think the play is Burgie into Petal, Chromox, Imprint, Gamble, use one of the Burning Wish to Jeska's Will, and then use the other Burning Wish to Reforge.
Okay. Yep, they're on big 7s right now. Okay. Burgie, Petal.
The only other option is like you could imprint a Burning Wish, and then you can go get Echo, and then you can gamble for Echo, because then your hand is only Echoes. That's a way to get Hellbent. But this way we get more mana.
Yeah.
We also get to see their hand in the graveyard.
Okay,
And thanks to Burgie, even if they use like an Endurance or Force of Vigor, imprint the gamble, to make our Jeska's Will worse, it still makes mana, or it's still enough to keep the line going.
Jeska's Will, and using all of my available resources to cast this. A bunch of red. I have 8 red in the pool. A Burgie makes me so happy.
I'm with you.
Wish for Reforge, and if they've bid this patient on Mindbreak Trap, they deserve everything that's coming to them. Reforge, cast this, using only pedestrian red mana, leaving good red mana floating. Their hand is just a bunch of garbage. Tabernacle is a card in their deck for potential consideration about Empty the Warrens. Here
So
we have another, or we definitely have Echo, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to play both Petals. This is usually a situation where you want to give yourself a chance to frontside the Echo. It's just a matter of how much do you want to play out beforehand. Obviously, you got to get double blue into play, and you got to get enough mana for Echo. Because what can happen is, right, you have the failsafe of, well, if it hits your Echo, then you just flash it back. But you don't want to walk into Endurance or something like that. So you have to be willing to, whatever cards you keep in hand, that you're fine with not putting them into play in the event that your Echo gets hit by Gamble. So I would definitely play both Petals. I'm definitely going to play one of the LEDs. I might even just play the second and then just say, I'll be fine not casting my Rite of Flame if Echo gets hit. Otherwise, we have a front side.
Okay. Yeah, all these diamonds coming in, and we want to leave the frontside echo, 2/3 of the time we lock up a draw 14 here. 1/3 of the time, just draw 7. All right, Rite of Flame's gone. So now I can blue echo.
Yep. And I would crack 1 LED for blue.
All right, so Burgate triggers blue from this, guarantees the cast. This is the first real test on their new 7. If they do have an LED or a Mindbreak Trap, all right, just wasting off my tap city, I'm fine with. Okay. Good
Wow,
thing we
I
have
would-
both echoes.
I would not cast the spell from hand. I would use... Actually, we can move into Horn. So let's...
Oh, bounce and flip.
Yeah. It'll be 7, 2... I play an LED. And then bounce the Burgie.
Okay, so we're right now saying all of these are worth more as 2 cards than they are as mana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're still going to have 9 mana post-Horn.
Okay. Arnfell, Horn, and Bounty. Cool trick. And leave 1 blue in the pool, or do we have plenty of red here to leave that alone?
It doesn't matter. We have Black Lotus.
Sure.
2 of them.
Tomb. There's a Bauble. Do I want to get that down? Just lock out. Or I have 0s I want to cast. Never mind. All right. Have to actually look at this window this time. Gamble is in Tomb at this point, and we still have this draw 7 floating. J-Will's good for 7. Are we just dumping everything and just Rite of Flame? Just not a concern.
Yeah, I would just discard it. I would cast the... Oh, there you go. There's the wish. Just J-Will for some mana, play Bauble, and then kill him.
Okay, we got a GG well played from the opponent. Sounds like they intend to concede here. Oh, then they said play through though. Okay. Just eating up a couple seconds of my clock. All right. Sorry. My opponent was typing. What were you saying?
Just J-Will for mana. Then you may as well play the Vexing Bauble. And then get him with the grapes. I guess you don't even have to J-Will. Just...
Yeah, I could just dump out these dopes and then Bauble. I like J-Willing though. That's fun.
No argument.
Get him with the grapes. Makes me very happy. Build a little extra storm. And we've got Vexing Bauble in. Close off any shenanigans. Wish.
You know, when I saw their name, No Apples, my first thought was, how about grapes?
Oh yeah. Opponent, it's all in good fun here, but how about them apples? We did it. Okay. A great screenshot to end the league on. This is what I want to see when I'm playing the Epic Gamble. This disaster of cast windows and storm triggers.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's wild.
Let's debrief this real quick. We had a lot of exciting turns. Oh, we worked really hard in a deck that I feel like should have some free wins, and we just didn't have any. And then we the moments that we would have had free wins, we were just busy eating shit, looking at 20 or 30 cards and not finding any way to continue. That one game with the Bowmaster in play versus Pox, you suggested a Mind's Desire line that's like 75% to win the gamble, and if we lose the gamble, then we just wheel. So that one could have been played differently. That was an option. I feel like a lot of players would clear the Bowmaster there, which is why we need a Storm expert to weigh in and think about the 25% that we miss versus the 100% we clear the Bowmaster and get to see more cards this game. Those sort of spots are, why we need the Masters out there. Is there any other super interesting spots that you want to debrief about?
No, I mean, it was interesting just how complicated so many of the turns were. I mean, it's that sort of thing is bound to happen a handful of times with a given event, but it was certainly more so this league. Generally speaking, our openers were lower power level, less protected than the deck normally performs with. I didn't just accidentally stumble into 18-1. It was a weird league. I suppose it's also the dynamic of, you playing and me talking, and it doesn't make it easier to pilot a deck.
Right. Yeah. Like I know basically what a kind of well-rounded legacy player would know, and what a storm god would know, and I'm holding you down, and suggesting lines that like a normie would think of while you're in storm lines, and like once in a while, one of my lines breaks through and ends up being reasonable. Stuff like make the construct before the frog goes to blocks, and maybe they'll just eat their graveyard for no reason, like that sort of stuff. Yeah. I think I'm leveling up. I'm contributing, like thinking about combat math a little more than the storm player wants to. But then, it is a theme of you and I doing collaborations, or I'm like, okay, I think we can, play Defense Grid this turn, and you're like, no, let's draw the deck. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good too.
Yep, I do like drawing the deck, or at least half of it.
For sure. Well, Tony, how about you tell everyone where they can find you, and then I will sign off.
You can find me, TonyScapone, one word, just about on any platform, whether it be I've got a YouTube, Twitch, Patreon. You can find me in the Storm Discord. If you get on my Patreon, I have a private members section within the Storm Discord. You can find me talking on my podcast, Brews of Paradise, with myself, Killa B, Punching Waterfalls, and Newton. Twitter, I suppose, as well. I'm everywhere.
Sweet. And I will have all those
TikTok.
links in the video description. Tony, thank you so much for being here, and your general contributions to the legacy and combo worlds.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.